All right, great. It's recording. Welcome to Back to Basics Life Mastery course. I'm really excited that you're here. This has been an idea that I had in my mind since last spring. So it's spring. So it's a good time. It took about a year to have it come into fruition. I was writing the curriculum and all this, but I wasn't quite ready to deliver it until I got down here to Florida, I guess. So just wanted to say that I'm really excited that you're both here, and we're gonna get more people as we go. And the reason that I put this together was because I was working a lot one-on-one with people, and a lot of clients couldn't afford to work with me one-on-one, and they wanted what I have to offer, and several of them said, well, don't you have a program? You know, that would be more of a basic program that you teach. And I said, well, it's coming. So I created it because I realized that there's some basic ideas that have to be shared with everyone. And we might as well do it in a program like this because we want everyone to have the skills to free their mind from fear and from self-doubt and limitation. And because if you can free your mindset, then you can free yourself completely and live an empowered life. So I wanted to share that. If you have any specific intentions, and I'm sure you do, I do want to share that as well. I'm going to set the intention for the program for 7 weeks of working together and going deep in the mindset to release beliefs, and also learning how to join together in a group like this on Zoom to support each other, because a lot of this has to do with our having impactful conversations with each other to help each other grow. Okay. So I'll just start with my intention, and that is that my intention is that each participant really learns that they have the power of their own mind to shift their beliefs, and therefore their past can disappear and they can create their future the way that they desire it to be. And that it really is possible to do that now, especially now, because we're in this new paradigm where there's so much more light and so much more power and, you know, really a joining of spirit coming together to help everyone elevate to the next level of consciousness. So that's my goal. And so my goal is also to make sure that every person here gets what they came for. And I'm committed to that. I'm also committed to my own learning how to do this kind of class online, learning how to keep it fun and light and joyful, and also allowing for stuff to come up, to be released, because we can't always be joyful when there's stuff in our face that, oh, I'm really scared right now because this is happening in my life. So also a very safe space, very sacred and confidential space, so no one feels like, oh, I'm going to go talk about the participants with people in my life, because I won't, and I expect that no one here will. So there's a very sacred confidentiality agreement that we have together. And also there's one more thing, and that is to not give each other advice, you know, to just let the teaching do the work. And because that creates a kind of a conflict for people when you think, oh, I know what's best for you, you know, but you're not, that creates a lot of friction in the group. So no crosstalk as far as that's concerned. And yeah, so I would like to open it up and just listen to why you both decided to take the course and what you hope to get from it. So whoever wants to go first.
I can go.
Okay.
So I wanted to take so I've been working with Monica over the past few months, and just in the first conversation that we had, I became really clear on my career path that I had doubts about for like years. And since then, it's just completely transformed how I've been able to approach things on a daily basis and really deal with things. Because even though through other courses, I've developed the tools to create a different context in my life. It was never enough because there was still an aspect where I wasn't able to integrate a lot of the ways that I had felt and a lot of the physical sensations that I had been experiencing. And so what I've been able to get throughout our conversations, Monica, is just really the tools to be able to release all this stuff that I've been holding on to and that had been just holding me back from experiencing this fully. And I've had a new experience of fulfillment, which is crazy to me, that I could walk around and think to myself, wow, I'm truly fulfilled. And I see how big of a difference it's had, and I want to continue and see what kind of difference it can also make for the people in my life. So that's why I chose to do this and join this. Also, when you asked me, like told me about it, there was no way that I would envision not doing it. So that's how certain I was about it. But in terms of what I intend on, did you also ask if what I intended on getting out of it?
Yep.
Yep.
For the needs. Yep.
So a lot of what I've been doing is continuing to do this on my own. Like throughout the day, I'll be experiencing something and I'll sit down and do the work and see what kind of impact it has. And I do know the power of doing things in a group. And I'm really, like, me trying to navigate this on my own can get me so far. And what I'm really missing is having guidance and having that kind of support network. So that's why I'm a part of this. And that's what I intend on getting, is having that support and having that guidance and that weekly, it's like a structure for me to be able to have this on a weekly basis and continue to just expand my understanding of it.
Good. Thank you so much. So just to fill you in a little bit, Georgette and I have done some coaching together, and I've helped her to learn the Byron Katie 4 questions, which is called the work of Byron Katie, and that is what she was referring to in the work. And that's a big part of what I teach people in the program, and how to apply that to all the different aspects of your life. And go, use it when you're in reaction to things. So you become more empowered and more able to see that you have the power of your mind to change how you're reacting, and to accept things better, and to not be so fearful or upset, because the upset is always an illusion. It's always about somebody doing something you didn't want, and it's always just thoughts in your mind. But that's a big part of what I teach, because it works so well. And like Georgette said, it was easy to learn, and it had a huge impact. So along with other methods, I will be teaching that in this module as well. So that's great. Oh my gosh, sorry. My phone. I forgot to turn that off. Okay, Peg.
Well, I've known you for a while. And I've heard you talk about Byron Katie at different things, and I like that work. But the reason why I joined is because I guess I'm going kind of in a new direction in my life, and so I guess I want to do it right this time. It's kind of like I want to. I don't know. I feel like I'm at a point where I'm ready for some direction as far as that goes, and to kind of get out of that victim role. Not that I'm always there, but many times I am, and to learn to really speak my truth. I talk about it all the time. But I think sometimes we have to live it too, and that's not always happening. So it's kind of like, yeah, I'm ready to do this and to kind of see where everything brings me as far as my career and my life, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Okay, great. Do you want to share a little bit about your career and where you're at with that right now, or?
Well, um, I'm a former teacher, and 10 years ago, I kind of started my own business as a life coach and angelic life coach, writing, reading, doing readings, also healing, and so I'm just kind of at the point where it's kind of like been there, done that. Now it's time for new things to occur. Using what I've been doing and continuing with that, but also being open to new horizons too, which I have been. So.
Okay. So expansion of what you've been doing, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And Georgette, do you want to share a little bit about where you're at in your life? And I know you're a college student, so you're in the earlier stages of life, but just maybe a little bit about how this could apply to where you are.
So I am in my third year, and I recently decided that once I graduate, I want to go into law school and have a career in doing conflict resolution and mediation, and possibly divorce and family law. And I have that as a distant goal in terms of my career. But in terms of what I'm actually committed to, it's in empowering the chronic pain community. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia 2 years ago, and only in the past year have I had a remarkable recovery in being able to just really live a life that I love. And that's the only reason why I rediscovered my passion for law, because I was able to come to the place where I'm at now. And so that's a really important part of my life. And I have these projects that I'm working on, like creating a chronic pain awareness day and a community, as well as writing about my experiences and sharing. And I'm struggling to find a way to align these two parts of my life, because I feel like I'm spreading myself thin between these two things that are really important to me. And in addition to that, obviously, I'm a student and, dealing with, okay, but I also have to deal with finances. And so I'm looking on how to integrate all these three things. But beyond that, what I've been experiencing over the past few days is just this like overwhelming sense of loneliness in being this way and believing these things and wanting to do what I want to do while being in college, surrounded by people where a lot of them don't want to do the same thing. So I think ultimately a big part of this is also creating how I can integrate this, is how I can create my own community and find that I can continue to pursue this and do what I'm committed to and do what I know I need to do without feeling like I'm by myself in all of this and that I'm weird.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you so much. Both of you are just so beautiful. I love what you said, and I love that you're coming with an open heart to really have a shift in your life and also really apply it, because you're here for impact. You're here to help others. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way you can do that is to really clear out what's in your way. And you can't be a healer if you're unhealed. So I'll just give a little background about where I came from, and you both know this a bit because Peg knows me really well, and Georgette, I've gotten to know you. But so my background is in A Course in Miracles, because when I was 30, I had a massive 6-month depression that rocked me, and I couldn't find the way out, and the only way I found to become more free was to work with my thoughts. And the Course in Miracles showed me and gave me that blueprint of mind transformation, which showed me that the world is in my mind and that it's not outside of me. And so I don't have to be afraid of it, and I don't have to try to control it, and I don't have to try to make it do what I want it to do, anything outside. That all of it comes back to who I am, and the fact that I am the dreamer of my own dream or my own life, And I get to choose what I want within the dream, and I get to choose how I want to be. So for 30 years, I've pretty much been teaching A Course in Miracles because it's so powerful in that it teaches you in a spiritual language that you are really literally the light of the world, and that the world is going on in your mind, and that you're not outside of it. It's not outside of you. And that gave me a sense of power and like a key to undoing my fear, because all I knew was I was terrified, and I didn't know why or how to let go of it or what to do about it until I found the Course. And the Course taught me everything that I teach now. I just use different language. I call it mind mastery or life mastery, but it's the same thing. You cannot master your life without mastering your mind. And so over the course of these years, I've had many mentors. I had an awakened master teacher for 10 years who I was with every day. And that was a huge boon to me, and it really shifted me out of all my fear and showed me that I still experience fear, but I don't get lost in it like I used to. I was also a young mother. I had 2 kids in New York, and I think I was going through a lot of my awakening when they were little and feeling the pain of being human, the pain of being so limited that I couldn't just, let go of that life and choose a new life for myself. And I found it to be very challenging emotionally because I was really bored, basically. And I have a really, my mind's really interested in things. I'm interested in people and in science and what makes people tick, and the world itself is fascinating to me. But only so far, only as much as it will give me happiness and joy. Like, I don't want to get into worrying about wars or worrying about politics, which I actually pay pretty close attention to, but I don't get caught in it anymore. And so what I really have found that what really creates a master, and to be a master of your life, is really learning to master your reactions to everything. And that you can I can manifest whatever I want. I manifest everything I do. I feel like I've manifested 2 houses. I manifested 3 husbands. I manifested moving to Florida on a whim, and things just opening up in ways that I don't always even anticipate. But I keep asking for, show me more light. I want to serve more people, and that's been my goal. So I hope that's a background. It's pretty quick. But so what I'm going to say about that is that, throughout all of my journey, I really experienced that I've come to know myself. I've really come to know who I am and what I'm here for. And that has given me so much fulfillment, because once you know that, it's like taking action's easy. Until you know that, taking action is impossible. Like, do I go this way? Do I go that way? This career, that career, this relationship, that, and you just don't know. And it's very confusing when you go through life like that. And I remember feeling that way in my 20s, that, I knew where I wanted to go. I knew I wanted to go to a major city. I knew I wanted to study music, and I did it. But then once I was there, it was like, wow, I'm in New York City, and my life changed a lot. And I got scared, and I think I, got into relationships a bit because I was so scared and wanted someone to protect me, which I have really grown out of, thank God. But so there's lots of reasons that we do what we do, and there's nothing wrong. That's the main thing, is to recognize that no matter what happens in your life, it's not wrong, and that you're not wrong. There's always something that's happening. Whatever is happening is perfect for you in that moment, to learn what you need to learn, or to just accept. Maybe it's not a big, huge lesson, but you just have to accept that, so right now I live in Florida, and I live with my sister, and I don't know what's next or where I'm going to move, but I'm sure I will. And it's just a matter of trusting in what's given, and trusting in the power of my mind to connect with my higher power and connect with that higher self that I am, and let that lead my way, because I think the key to mastery is learning the intuitive part, learning to connect up with who you really are and let that part of you kind of take over. But not take over in the sense that you're giving up your will or anything, but just like, no, my will is to be happy. The only way I can be happy is to grasp the idea of happiness, what it really is and what it really means. And truly being happy is not something that's constant. It comes and goes because it's always you're reacting to things. So sometimes you're going to be really happy and sometimes you're not going to be happy. You're going to be like, crap, I have no money. What do I do? You know, and it becomes a fearful experience, and you just have to sit with it for a moment and do the work on it, because we're not trying to fix it. We're not trying to change the state of mind that you're in, because it's perfect for you, even if it seems really, really unhappy. Okay, it's still something that you're going through in order to master your life, okay, and master who you are, and not try to be or feel bad about yourself or judge yourself for going through what you go through. So that's the biggest thing I really want to share with you, is that the main thing you really need to learn is how to love yourself through all of it. Unconditionally love yourself with compassion, because life doesn't go smoothly most of the time. It's challenging. And the need is that because we've been conditioned, because we've had parents that weren't perfect, because we've had relationships that weren't perfect, they still gave us what we needed. You know, they reflected to us our own beliefs, and they showed us where we needed to grow. And often we don't see that, and we think, oh, if I could only change that person, or if I could have changed my childhood, if my dad had been a different person, you know, or my mom, you know, actually none of that would have worked for you. Because people are people, and they have whatever response they're having and going through in their lifetime is, you pick that person to work out your issues with, okay? So what I want to teach you, though, in this is that you can free yourself from the past. You can free yourself from that conditioning. And truly the only reason you suffer is because you hold on to it. And you think it's about you, and you think it's about stories that you've made up and judgments that you've made up about you. So why do we attack ourselves with judgment? Well, it's just what human beings do. I mean, it's nothing wrong. It's just that when we do it, we have to realize we're doing it. The Course in Miracles teaches that one basic premise, and that is that you're the cause of your problem. And in order to create your life with power, you have to recognize that you can alter the way you believe. Okay? You don't have to believe what you have believed all this time up till whatever age you are. You have the power to change your belief. And when you do change your belief, it frees your mind from the past. And then you get to be yourself. You get to be in the idea that you have power, because you can change your thoughts and you can change your beliefs. And I don't mean change them, but I do mean let them be transformed. Because we're not exchanging one belief for another. What we're really doing is seeing that we have the power to choose to release all belief and to come into the state of mind that's completely clear of belief. That's the ultimate goal, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to get there in 7 weeks, but you will have some powerful tools to work with during this time, so that your spiritual awakening can be really enhanced and sped up. So I'm going to go over, I hope that's okay with everybody. Is that good?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Time's flying, so I got to move quickly. The goal of the program is to undo the specific limiting beliefs in the following specific areas of your life: self-worth, purpose, money, and time. Okay? Because those 4 areas of your life cause you the greatest suffering. And once you complete this course, you're going to create a whole new way of being in the world. Okay? So you become a creator, and you utilize the power of your mind to begin to affect real, lasting transformation in your mind and in your world. Because your world is not outside of you. Okay? So, to create, these are the modules, okay? First is the mindset mastery, and it's going to take at least one class, maybe two, to do that, but we're going to do it today and a little on Thursday, and then do Q&A and coaching on Thursday as well. But we get into the mindset mastery because you can't do anything without knowing how to change your thoughts, right? So you got to develop this miracle mindset that I have the power to choose what I believe. So we learn that the nature of the mind is that you have the will of your own mind. You have the will to change your mind. You have the will to choose what you want to believe. And you don't have the power to do that for anyone else. You can't make anyone else choose. You can't make them change. And when you learn that, that's a huge lesson, because a lot of us try to fix things and fix people. When you really accept that, you learn that you have real freedom, because you don't have to try to fix other people. You can accept where they are, not make them wrong, and live with this power of, I can decide how I want to react to that person. Do I want them in my life? If I have them in my life, do I want to be authentic with them, or do I want to judge them? Do I want to reach out to them and help them when I see that they're struggling? Or do I just really want to, set a boundary with someone? So there's lots of ways that you're going to have to learn how to deal with people. And really having an impactful life means that you've learned that you actually do that. You actually are authentic with every person in your life, and you're not hiding and you're not holding back. Because that's the biggest thing that I found for myself, was that when I hold back, I cower and I get small and I feel isolated, and then I think they don't like me. And it's really not them, it's me. Okay, so my tendency, and you become aware of this as you work through this, my tendency is to think that people hurt me and they betray me. Okay, in my relationships, that's the kind of a pattern I've repeated. Whereas, in fact, this is my dream. Nobody can betray me if it's my dream. So I'm looking at how I repeat that and how I can work on those thoughts about betrayal and choose not to believe them, choose to undo the thoughts of betrayal in my mind. So the other thing is that to have power and impact, you have to be very clear about, when you are authentic, you have to, not have to, but you learn what it means to have integrity with people. You learn what it means to do what you say you're going to do. And when you don't, you just admit it, because that gives you tremendous power. That's how you always restore power when you've lost it. So say I didn't show up for the class till 5:10. I would have had to say something like, I impacted you because I didn't show up and you probably thought I wasn't coming. So I deal with my life that way, and Landmark's given me that context to work within, and shown me that impact means integrity. It means doing what you say you're going to do. So you don't make excuses, and you don't lie, and you take full responsibility for yourself and your actions. And when you do that, you get to have a real powerful life. You get to be upfront with everyone. You don't lie to anyone. You don't hide from them. And that's a big reason I wanted to do the class and start today, because I just was like, I'm tired of waiting for this, and I want to start it now. And I didn't care if anyone was going to show up, but I just really had to set the intention and take the action. And I feel really good that I've done it, because I've been thinking of doing this for months, and now it's like, here I am doing it. Clarity, certainty of purpose. I'm doing what I said I would do. Okay? And I love it, because I'm not talking about it anymore. I'm doing it. Okay? And then you get to experience it. Okay, so that's another one. So the internal change is what happens when you're committed to having a life of impact. Okay? And that means you have to have self-worth. You have to know how to deal with things in your life like money and time. You have to know how to communicate with others, and you have to know how to be tactful, respectful, and loving and kind toward people, because that's how you get to feel fulfilled within yourself. And mainly what we do is, sometimes we're really good to other people. A lot of us who are fixers, we're really good to other people, and we try to help them, and we're always helping, but we're not being very nice to ourselves, because we say things to ourselves like, oh, you're just a piece of shit, you know. You know, and that one thought can cause you so much anguish when you don't challenge it. And so we do have that voice in our head all the time. It's never, I can't say it's never going to go away, but for years I've struggled with that self-worth, that voice that's always judging me. And I have to realize that it's kind of like telling it to just, enough, okay? I heard you, thank you, enough. And really, you can do that with your mind. So that's what we'll learn in this too. So the basic of mind training is becoming free to change your beliefs, becoming free to know you have a choice. Being stuck doesn't work because you always feel diminished when you feel stuck. You always feel like there's something I'm not getting. There's something I'm not powerful enough. There's no money in your bank account. It's like, I don't feel powerful. I can't go out and do what I want to do. And that to me is feeling diminished and disempowered and stressed, okay? And when you accept that as your normal way of being, then that leads you to act and behave in ways in your life that disable you. And you become literally disabled by your thoughts. Everyone on the earth has some form of stress and some form of resistance, okay? And most of it is coming from programming from our childhood, also from our adulthood, and past lives. So this program will teach you how to make your life work for you and not against you. And you can become free of all this negative programming. Everything you think and believe is still coming from your own perception. So perception makes projection. That's the main principle of the Course in Miracles. Projection makes perception. So when you project your guilt onto someone else and you yell at them and you say, they're doing this to me, they've betrayed me, then you've lost your power because you're thinking that it's really outside of you. That person did this to me. When in fact, I'm the one thinking the thoughts about it. And if I think these thoughts, then I suffer, okay? So the key is have compassion for yourself because you are whole. And you are perfect, and nothing you can do or say or perceive or even experience can change that you are whole and you are a being of love, okay? No matter what your conditioning taught you, no matter what your churches taught you, you are worthy of love, and underneath all the attempts to hide, the truth is you really just want to love and be loved. So that's the basic impact that we're going to cultivate in this program is to learn to love ourselves more and to learn to love each other more. Because if we value ourselves and we value who we are, then we can create a world where everyone values themselves, right? This is the impact that I talk about. So that I have the most impactful thing I could do is to teach people to change and transform their mind. I don't have any other purpose in my life, you know. I mean, I like being a mother and having fun and playing music and going out in the sun and having fun, but I also know that without a purpose, I'm pretty lost, you know. So when I was 30, I found my purpose, and I'm really excited because I get to really do it. Okay, so self-inquiry. I'm going to get into the methods that we use for belief work, okay? So belief work is it. That's the crux of the whole course. Here's how it works, and I'm going to just go quickly through the 4 questions of Byron Katie, the work, because it's powerful. I've undone so many of my beliefs that were causing me pain for like years in like a half an hour once I started to do it and really do it every day. So you don't realize how much power you have. Some people just think you can do that method and let it go and then, you know, and not do it anymore. But if it becomes something you do every day, like you have breakfast every day, so you do it for breakfast, like you just write down your thoughts. You don't have to worry about whether they're extremely painful thoughts. Just notice what you're thinking and write it down and then challenge it, okay? So the way to do it is to take out a piece of paper and notice what you're upset about. Notice that you are upset about something, because we're almost always upset about something. And even if we know that's an illusion, we're still upset when it does upset us. So there's an honesty I need you to have in this program. Be honest, okay? So just write down something that you're upset about right now. What's the thought that comes to you? And ask yourself, okay, so just get quiet for a minute. Send your energy down into your feet and down through your feet into the earth. Just take a deep breath. I want you to kind of get out of your head for a moment and let the energy flow through the earth, through you, all the way through you down into the earth. Just very quick. When you think about your feet hitting the earth and the earth absorbing all of your energy right now, you can really let go. And we call in the angels and guides, everyone that's working with us today, to help us become grounded and free in this moment. And thank you for your support, and they're always with us, so we can always call upon their help and give them energy and receive their energy, because it's always about inviting them. They can't come in unless we invite them. And being grateful that they show up and guide us in every moment. Take some deep breaths. Just feel your feelings for a moment. What am I feeling? Just write it down. I'm feeling this. And now get really quiet and ask yourself, what's the thought behind that fear or that panic or whatever it is, or upset? What is the thought behind it? And ask for it. Okay, and you might get something like what I just wrote down was, I'm worried about finances. So if you feel that a bit, just notice it. And I want you to go a little deeper and ask yourself, what's the belief underneath that fear? I don't have enough, maybe. Whatever it is, just let it be. If you're rustling paper, I'm going to have to mute you.
Okay.
Okay. So, yeah, just notice. You don't have enough, maybe, or it's something like that. Or how will I pay my bills next month? Or a lot of times we do project a lot of fear into the future, so just notice it. Okay. Do you each have a thought? Just take one. If you have a bunch of them, just take one. You got one? Oh, okay, good. I'll unmute you. Okay. Peg, you got one?
Yep.
Okay. So take that thought and just write it. Since it's written down, I want you to answer these 4 questions, okay? And the first one, you have to say yes or no. You can't tell a story. You can't say maybe. It's yes or no, okay? The first question is it true? Right now, in this moment, is it true for you? Yes or no? And if you said yes, then we're going to go on to the second question. If you didn't say yes, don't worry about it. You can skip over question number 2. So the next question is, are you absolutely sure that it's true? Okay, good. So I really got that for me was yes and then no. Because I don't know if it's actually true. Like, absolutely. I just feel like it might be. So sometimes you just feel it is, but then you question it, you go, well, maybe not. You know, and that is, and if you say yes, it's okay too. There's no right or wrong in this. All right, so now the next question is, this is really important. How do you react when you believe this thought? Okay, and just write down a couple words, a couple emotions, mostly emotions. that you feel when you believe the thought, whatever it was. Well, just kind of be with it for a moment. Don't judge what's going on. Just be with the experience, the reaction. Kind of like meditation, you just let it be there. Oh, wow. Okay. So sometimes if you give it a few minutes, something deeper comes up that you didn't know was there. And so just let it happen. Okay. Now let's go to the next part. And the next part is really easy. It's just like imagine that you were someone who didn't believe that thought. You're just you, but you don't believe that thought. You're someone, you're you. You just don't have that thought. Okay? So the question is, who would you be? Who would you be without that thought? Just imagine it. Because you can choose not to believe a thought, but you won't until you see that there's value. There's a benefit to you in not believing it. And write it down. Okay. And now I want you to kind of feel into that feeling of not believing it. Okay, feel the feelings of not believing that thought. Wow. What if I never thought that anymore? Wow. And write down what comes to you. So I'm going to do this and give the example of what I've written because I think it's hard to do it without an example. For someone, watching this wouldn't be able to understand it. So my thought was, I'll just tell you what mine was. I'm worried about finances. That's what came up. And my second thought was I don't have enough. Okay. And is it true? I said yes, absolutely sure. No, I'm not absolutely sure because right now I actually do have enough in my account to pay my bills, but that thought still comes up a lot. So how do I react when I believe it? I feel fearful, I feel diminished, I feel uncertain, I feel lost and alone. And then when I got to the bottom of it, it was really, I feel betrayed. I feel betrayed by God I think by God, because I don't often know where my money's going to come from, So I didn't realize I felt betrayed over that, but there it was. And it was really interesting because I was thinking of the word betrayal today with regard to a relationship. So this is another theme in my life. So I'm looking at it and examining it and seeing that comes up a lot. So who would I be without that? And then I really had to let go of the thought for a moment to feel I'd feel powerful and worthy, innocent, certain, and trusting, loving, kind, and safe. And I think a lot of it had to do with safety. Really safe if I don't believe that. Right? So now I'm going to write down, I want you guys to write down 3 reasons. Did you each come up with how you'd feel without it? Okay. And did you notice that if without the thought you would feel better in some way?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry. No
Right.
concern. Yeah.
There's your motivation. Your motivation for doing the work is to just feel better. Some way you want to feel better because you're holding on to thoughts that don't make you feel good. Okay. Okay, so the next part is to give 3 reasons why that thought is not true. It's literally not true. And just come up with 3 reasons. Okay, you might want to come up with more. If more ideas come to you, write those down too. Like my mind wants to keep going a little bit. You know, I feel like it's working something out as I do it. So writing it down is really nice. Okay. So I'll just share what my reasons were because the reason that we do this part is because it's a turnaround. It's like the opposite of that thought is I do have enough. Okay? I do have enough, and I forgot to say that, but that's what we do. We turn the thought around and then we say the opposite is true. So I do have enough because, and I wrote down 4 reasons. I always have enough. I always seem to have enough. Food, shelter, money to do what I need to do. And throughout my life, you know, here I am. I'm living my life. I'm sitting here doing what I want. And I'm okay. So I feel good. That's another reason I feel good. Actually, today that I'm sitting here right now with you guys teaching this class, there's nothing I'd rather do. So I feel really happy about that. And I feel loved and cared for. And I also feel certain that I'm protected. And that just came through as I let go of the thought and saw that the opposite was actually true. And then if you want to get into the metaphysics of it, it is, you know, I always have enough because I am enough. You know, a lot of it has to do with we think we have to have things and, you know, but that's just imagery. So actually I am enough because I'm whole. You know, my life is whole and I am a being of love and I've always been a being of love. Even when I've been afraid, it was just fear coming into a mind that's actually love. So fear isn't something that you have to do anything about except do a little bit of the work and let go of it, right? Because it doesn't really have any power over you until if you keep, you know, harboring the thoughts and thinking they're true, then yeah, it has power over you. But you don't have to do that anymore. Okay, so do you guys want to share anything right now about what you experienced? You don't have to do the whole thing, but just how that worked for you.
I've done this before with you, at different at different venues and stuff, and I think the biggest thing that I'm upset about is that I don't like it where I am. I don't like where I'm living. That's basically what it is. and I
Okay.
feel really stuck about it.
Mhm.
And so I know, I guess I don't know, I feel very isolated, and uh,
So that
just
was the
not,
thought. Is that the
yeah,
thought you worked on?
yeah, just isolation, I guess. And what was the third? Let me see. Let me see. Oh, am I absolutely sure? Yes, that's how I feel. And how do I react? Just frustration, and yeah, frustration. Imagine not believing that. Well, I would probably feel free. I would feel more joy, and I would feel more clarity, I guess. And then I wouldn't have to, be concerned about that. And then my reasons, if I flipped it around, was, let me see. I can't read the first one. Oh no, I can leave anytime. I can make the small space to my liking, which I'm doing. And I can move after my lease is up, if
Okay.
I so desire. So,
Great.
yeah.
So you don't have to not like it. You can choose. I mean, we turned the thought around to I do like it because of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that make you feel?
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it like it's doable.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Perfect. That's a great example. And so, can you take a moment to be grateful for what you just experienced, and write down action steps that you can take to make it really work for you. Like really creating the space, like you said, create a small space for yourself, creating that space and making sure you like it. Okay, because I've been in that situation where I didn't like where I lived, and I had to create a space for me, and then I was okay, but if you do that one thing and then you express gratitude for seeing that, oh my gosh, I can actually change it. I don't have to stay with it. I don't have to keep thinking that thought and causing my own pain, right?
Yeah. So action steps, is that what you're saying?
You take an
Okay.
action to reinforce the new choice, the new belief.
Okay. All right.
And then you make a promise to yourself that you're going to take that action within 24 to 48 hours. So you don't put it off, because if you put it off, you're not going to experience the result of it. Okay. So that's a great example. So now and also I want you to share your experience with someone this week.
Okay.
What did you experience as a result of changing your thought about it? Because the more you share your experience with people, the more you're going to own it for yourself and inspire them. Like, oh, I don't have to believe that anymore. Huh. And the more I share my experiences where I get released from something, it really inspires people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I teach this a lot, and people go, wow, you really let go of feeling guilty about, your divorce? And I'm like, yep, I let it go. It wasn't true. Because guilt is never true. It's just made up, right?
It's surpassing expectations, or it's not the expectation that you had thought you wanted, right? That's what guilt basically is.
Right. It's thinking that you were supposed to be something other than you are, or do something other than what you did. So. Okay, Georgette, do you want to share something, or how are you feeling?
I'm feeling nauseous.
Okay.
So my thought is I'm scared of the future and hiding.
Okay.
And I've been feeling very checked out. And in terms of what came up when I wrote that thought, I felt trapped, diminished, screaming, turbulent, and suffocated. So without that thought, I would be happy and alive and excited and in action. I would be freed. I would be relaxed and light. And I would also just be steady. And with that, I would feel empty, like open and empty, like I'm released and elevated. So the opposite of that is I'm safe. And 3 reasons why it's not true is nothing can hurt me when I have power over my mind. I am creating my future literally, and I'm out there in action right now.
Awesome. All right. How do you feel right now, knowing that you just changed that belief for yourself?
I still feel stuck physically.
Yeah.
Like in my body, I feel stuck.
Yeah. So there's probably some deeper layers to this. When that happens, just do it again with what's the next thought? See what comes up next. Because that thought is released, but it probably triggered another one that's under it. Like, oh, well then because what was your thought again?
I'm scared of the future and hiding.
Yeah, I'm scared of the future and hiding. So that's really broad, and it doesn't say why. It's just I'm scared. And so
I wrote 2 other ones. I feel disconnected and I'm worried about doing everything on my own.
Okay.
But I chose this one.
And notice that every thought comes with a feeling first. I'm worried, I'm scared, I'm this. Notice that if you just wrote down the thought about what you're afraid will happen. You know what I mean? Instead of I'm scared of this, write down the thought underneath that. What is the thought? I won't survive, or I won't have what I need, or
Yeah, I won't survive.
yeah, I'm not going to survive. That could be a really powerful one to do next. Okay? So the reason I say that is because, sometimes we start with the fear and we go, I'm afraid of this. Yeah. But the reason, and that's what I did too. I started out with I'm worried about finances. And then I came down to I don't have enough. That's the reason I'm worried about finances, is because I actually believe I don't have enough. So you want to dig for it a little bit. Okay.
Right.
All right. Awesome. We have 1 more minute. And I want to say that this is the first method that I teach. I have 2 other methods, and we don't have time to do them today, so I'm going to teach them at the beginning of the next class. And they're really simple. They're even more simple than Byron Katie. But your homework until, can you both come to the class on Thursday?
On this Thursday?
Yeah.
At what time?
Is that 11?
In the morning?
Yeah.
No.
I'm working with a client at 11. Okay. I can do it later.
What's a better time? What would work for you guys? We can change that.
Thursday evening?
I don't know if I can do this Thursday evening. Well, we'll work it out. I'll let you know. Can we do, if we could do like 5? I could do 4.
I have an appointment from 4 to 5, but I could do after.
Okay. Does 5 work for you, Peg?
Yeah.
I probably won't be able to make it exactly at 5.
Okay, 5:15?
20. 5:15, 5:20.
Let's say 5:30.
Okay.
Okay, 5:30.
To 6:30. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yep.
We'll be, Thursday's going to be a little flexible because sometimes I have things in the evening, but for now, let's keep it around 5:30.
Okay.
Okay, great. And is there anything else you want to share.
Where do you have it written somewhere, the process of Prime, Katie,
Yeah,
or
I'm
can
gonna
we
send
go
you.
to the
I'll send it.
website? Okay,
I'm going to send you this. And you'll have the other two methods, too, that you can take a look at. It's really simple. It's where you learn how to do a forgiveness act on a belief. And then there's another one of just, you don't cancel it, but you basically state a statement that releases the thought. Okay? But I can't go over it in a minute. All right, so once you get these three methods, though, your life will change by applying it. Okay.
great. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, and I really enjoyed our first class. I do have this recording, and it will be recorded, and I will send you a link to it as well,
Okay.
so you have access to it. I just learned how to do that today. Okay.
I learned last Friday. Okay. Thanks a
All
lot.
right. Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Thank
Yep.
you.
See
now.
you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.